Today I want to talk about Oklahoma's defensive back at secondary and why it's such a big deal this spring. And all that's coming up after the bumper.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You gotta help me with that corner
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always college football related, sports related. We have a good time. Today, I want to talk about why Oklahoma's secondary is a big deal this spring and really perhaps the most important unit of any of the units Oklahoma has in 21, because as I've been telling you, I expect Oklahoma to compete, win a national championship in 2021, and there's a lot of things that have to go their way for that to happen, but not the least of which is they got to have one of the best defensive back groups in the country. They have to have that because when they have been good at the safety positions, at the corner positions, Oklahoma has been a monster. You know what the offense is going to do. But more than that, now you know what the defensive line and the linebackers are going to do. And when you run this modified 3-4, 4-2-5, 5 DB nickel set that Grinch does, you are putting an emphasis on those guys, in particular the guys that are playing the nickel position. And I want to talk about them at some length because Brendan Radley-Hiles went into the transfer portal and announced that he is transferring to Washington, where I hope Jimmy Lake gives him an opportunity to play a little bit of cornerback, because that is the position he earned his 5-star rating at, and I still believe it's his best position and a position he never, ever got to play at Oklahoma. He was forced to play nickel. You also are going to be without Pat Fields this spring, who was tremendous in 2019 at the free safety position and started 10 games, really, for Oklahoma in 2020. Now, there are a lot of OU fans that feel just as awful about Pat Fields' play as they did Buki's play, but both of those men were tremendous leaders. Lincoln swore by both of them. Pat Fields, your captain on defense. He is a tremendous leader, and I'm proud to call him a T-Town kiddo because, I'm from T-Town. But also, right, the only dude that really has his spot on something like It's Mine is Delarian Turner-Yell. And when he's been healthy, it's been great, but he's also a box safety, not really the kind of dude that you expect to run with dudes in the slot or at tight end, especially when you're talking about running 4 quarters and then match quarters, or even something like cover 3, but he wouldn't be that dude in the cover 3. He'd be the dude in the box. Still, he's the guy that we're going to get to see grow up a little bit more. But it's also really cool because along with losing Pat Fields, Robert Barnes, Brendan Radley-Hiles, and Trey Norwood, who all accounted for about 107 tackles and 7 picks last year, you brought in a lot of talent, and you've got a lot of talent on the roster that a lot of us can't wait to see what it's made of, right? Along with Key Lawrence, transfer from Tennessee that Grinch had recruited before and really wanted. You also get to see what Jordan Mooks is made of, 6'4", playing the safety position. You get to see what Latrell McCutcheon was, a guy that Alabama had in the boat early on before he decommitted, and then famously said on this show, Texas can keep their offer, and came to Oklahoma. You also have guys like Kendall Dennis and Josh Eaton that I want to see. I want to see how grown they are and how much bigger they are. Jaden Davis could be going into a magic year where I think he has an opportunity to play one of those cornerback positions. And then it's real interesting to me that Justin Harrington is getting a lot of run at corner at 6'3", 215. Grinch compared his maturity to where Trey Norwood was this time last year. Trey Norwood obviously took a tremendous jump in the latter half of the season in 2020 and was really Oklahoma's best defensive back to finish out the season. But you also have this wild card at nickel that I really love. Jeremiah Criddell is a guy that I've been high on for a couple of years now. I've wondered why he wasn't the guy that got the most opportunities when Radley-Hiles had either been penalized out of the game or shown that the game was getting away from him. He did play a bunch, right? But he's also going to have some competition. And his competition is going to be a true freshman. Not just any true freshman. Billy Bowman. Billy Bowman is also playing the nickel, right? So Grinch said it was a tremendous recruiting battle inside the building just to get that dude because we knew coming in he could play both ways. Riley said he would be shocked if he didn't play both ways. And for Grinch to get the first crack at him is not a small thing because apparently he was going to play some outside receiver for Dennis Simmons. And all you got to do is pull up the highlight tape of Billy Bowman. He's a Christian McCaffrey type, a Tyreek Hill type dude that you just want to get the ball in his hands and let him go. So to get him to play some nickel to start, not a small thing. It also shows you just how important that position is to Oklahoma's success. So between Bowman and Criddell, and I'm sure there's somebody else that they're going to really try to get over there to not just compete, but to get reps in case of injuries because injuries tend to happen. But when you look at the board and you look at the depth chart, I see tremendous talent. There's no other way to put it. I see guys that can do this. Now I want to see what Roy Manning and Alex Grinch can coach. And knowing that the safeties, free safety, strong safety, nickelback, are all Grinch's guys, right? They're all his, that's his position he coaches. I both feel great about that, and I also am going, man, it's all on you now, right? This is a dude that also got a raise after a really good couple of years of being a defense coordinator, getting into the college football playoff, winning the Cotton Bowl. But it's also a guy that you're paying a lot of money to win championships, even if he did turn down an opportunity to take a job at Washington State and interview for a couple of other jobs. So let's see who emerges here because you got 15 practices to get it in. Keep an eye on Caleb Kelly, who's back out there in pads as well. And, man, what a tremendous story it would be if he was able to break into the starting roster and play some significant snaps once again. Maybe they'll move him to that rush-in position, but I doubt it. So that's a guy that a lot of people have been pulling for a very long time, a dude that was a 5-star 5 years ago and has had medical red shirt and ACL tear, and he's taken this year of being a super senior to try to make one last crack at it, and I really think that this is the year that Oklahoma can put it together, but they're going to have to put it together with outstanding defensive back play because if you can lock up people in this conference, you stand a chance of locking up people in the SEC, and if you can do that, you can win a national championship, and that's what it's going to take. You're going to have to beat whoever comes out of the SEC, whoever comes out of the Big Ten, probably Ohio State, whoever comes out of the ACC, likely Clemson, and even perhaps you're having to look better than the Pac-12, or the Pac-12 is going to have to beat you, right? Because I think all 5 power conferences have at least one team that is good enough to make the playoff. This is going to be a fun year. It's going to be a fun year. Watch the secondary. Watch the secondary. Doses.